What's up, Dr. FOMO? Welcome.
Hey guys, how are you? Hey, I wanted to get anyone's thoughts on the auto industry, if that was up for topic. Basically, before the first of the year, because there's just parking lots and parking lots and fields full of cars with no chips, right? So I had heard before the first of the year that, basically once the chips came in, they were going to flood the market and then tank the used car prices and tank the new car prices. But I was talking with a guy today that kind of hangs out at the auctions, some of the bigger auctions, and he was saying that the companies now, since they still can't get the chips, they're going to be able to basically send these brand new vehicles to the crusher and be able to get the write-offs. And I just wondered if any of you guys had any insight on that.
Dr. FOMO. I'm a data scientist that works for a used car dealership. So, you've come to the right place, my friend. To be honest, nobody that I've talked to in either new dealerships or used dealerships has any idea what's going on with these chips. There are, as you said, parking lots filled with used cars or new cars rather that have everything except the semiconductor chips that they need. And like we were all in the industry, we were all under the impression that come the first quarter of 2022, these chips would start rolling out and these new cars would come through. And if people are wondering why used car prices are going through the roof, it's because no new cars are being produced. So hey man, it's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know about how new cars work as far as crushing and getting write-offs, but yeah, in my opinion, as someone that's actually in this industry and that talks to people across the country about this stuff, no one has any idea what's going on with this.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
all
because there's hundreds of thousands of stranded vehicles. And it's just insane. And the crushing aspect, that's I had never even dreamed that that would even be an option. But I mean, it definitely seems possible.
oh yeah, it's crazy. And like you talk to people and they just give you the bland, oh, well, it's supply chain, it's supply chain, it's supply chain. But at a certain point, like when are we going to wake up to the fact that maybe there's something deeper going on here? I don't know. It seems like to me, if we're just talking stocks here, like Nvidia, they've had 2 years to figure this out. At what point do we just say, all right, well, these companies can't figure it out? Ford, Chevy, they're going to have to start doing in-house development of their own chips. And a few automakers are doing that, but I don't see it being widespread.
Yeah, I I agree 100%. It's like, all right, we're over 2 years in um, from like stop the spread, right? So it's like, all right, at one point is it the company's shortcomings opposed to just quote unquote supply chain? Um, and like it's not just the auto industry. I feel that the chip shortage is affecting almost every sector, it seems like. So, um, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to stop, and more things are requiring chips. But as
Every
far as like developing their own chips, I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard of any other. Dan, you probably know better than I do, but the only car manufacturer I've heard of that does it is Tesla.
Well, Tesla's always done it. I think Ford now has come out and said that they're at least expanding their reach for chips, so they're not relying solely on Taiwan semiconductors. I think they're going to start to expand more into like Nvidia plus TSMC. But Tesla's always done it, I believe, or always is maybe not the right word, but for the last few years they've always done. For the last few years they've done in-house chip manufacturing. But you're seeing it too. Like, look, just because I know Dr. Fomo's in the Bitcoin mining space, one of the big things that Dorsey came out and said when they first announced last, what was it, September, October, that they were getting into the mining business over there in Block, was that they need more vertical integration. We can't be over reliant on these chip manufacturers. And this is exactly why, because the auto industry has been over reliant on chip manufacturers. And look, after 2 years of this, they haven't figured it out. So at some point, people are going to start asking questions like, why can't Nvidia get this figured out? Why, why is it taking them over 2 years to pivot to this? And
And to take, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it has real world consequences. Look, now you're looking at month after month, record high used car prices and new car prices. And if your car breaks down, you need a new car. And at the moment, you can't get a 2014 with 110,000 miles on it for less than 20,000 or $20,000. It's insane.
Yeah, I was just going to add, like, if from a stock standpoint, I mean, if they do crush these cars, if that even is in the realm of possibility, and they write it off, what's that going to do to their stock?
That I'm unsure of, because I'm in the used car business, and I don't think I've ever had any discussions with anybody about crushing. When we don't sell a vehicle retail to a buyer, we typically take it back to auction. And at the moment, that's not too bad of a business because auction prices are only going up. So you typically don't lose too much at auction. But I've never done any of the crushing stuff. Maybe I'll ask some people about that.
I mean, I'm just speculating here, but I would think that it would kind of, it would be bad for the free cash flow. They would essentially, it would just be an attempt at somewhat of a tax break, but like overall, it's obviously not sustainable to buy the cars and then crush them just for write off purposes. So I would think overall for the business, that would be pretty terrible to say the least, especially with the longer a car sits on the lot. Right now it's actually going up in price. So kind of the few times you could say that.